Your honesty isn't a virtue. It's the weapon people are using to dismantle. We've been told that being an open book is a sign of strength, but deep down, you know the truth. You felt that cold shiver of regret the moment you spoke your fears out loud, watching your influence vanish as you begged for sympathy. You're tired of feeling leaky and exposed, aren't you? But what if I told you that the weight you've been carrying isn't even yours to bear? Today, we're entering an ancient forge to learn a secret that will make you emotionally untouchable. By the end of this story, you'll master the seal of the forge, a rare mental ritual to quench your impulses and regain total silent authority over any room you enter. However, before you can use this seal, you must understand the invisible leak. A silent predator that is draining your energy at this very second, and you don't even realize it's happening. Victor sat in the corner of the boardroom, feeling the air grow thin, and every glance from his colleagues prickling his skin like a needle. He genuinely believed that by being honest about his struggles, he would build a bridge to their respect. Instead, he only found a cold, analytical pity. This is the trap of the invisible burden. The more you speak your doubts, the more you are actually handing out the keys to your own fortress to those who hunt. He felt a slow, rhythmic leak of his vital energy every time he spoke, offering up his fears like sacrifices. His heart thrashed against his ribs, and the more he revealed, the heavier the room became. He was a man without skin, feeling every breeze of criticism as an Arctic gale. But there is a specific reason why your intuition creates that hollow sensation in your stomach when you over-explain, a biological warning that you are losing your authority that we will decode in a moment. Victor realized his openness had turned him into a ghost. Easily seen through and easily ignored, he was desperately seeking validation from his competitors. A car crash of the soul that left him drained. What Victor didn't know yet, and what most people never discover, is that there is a way to turn this leak into a source of unbreakable density, but it requires facing a silence so heavy it can crush a weak spirit. Victor tracked down Master Soren at the edge of a jagged, soot-stained valley, expecting a warm lecture on leadership. Instead, he was met with a blackened hand, gesturing to a stool, and a silence that felt like a physical force. For 2 hours, Victor did what we all do. He tried to talk his way into favor, pouring out his heart and his radical honesty, hoping for a crumb of sympathy. But his words fell into a bottomless well of shadow, met only by the rhythmic strike of a hammer. Most people treat silence like an enemy they need to kill with noise, because they are terrified of what they'll hear when the talking stops. Victor babbled about his childhood and his failures until his verbal diarrhea finally ran out of breath. It is in this precise moment of emptiness that a man truly begins to hear himself. Soren finally spoke, and his words cut deeper than any blade. You seek to be a sharp sword, but you carry yourself like an open, weeping wound. The master challenged him to one full day of absolute silence, but Soren was hiding a darker truth. The heat of the forge was about to amplify Victor's internal noise to a breaking, and there is one specific reason why most people fail this test in the first 10 minutes, which I will reveal shortly. Soren retrieved a heavy, unrefined iron bar from the shadow, cold, jagged, and crusted with the rust of neglected years. He placed it in Victor's palm, and the weight nearly buckled his knees. "Hold this as if it were your very life," the master whispered. "This iron is the unprocessed version of your soul, heavy with every secret you've leaked and every validation you've begged for." As the forge heated to a blinding white roar, the air turned into a thick golden soup. Sweat stung Victor's eyes, and his muscles began to scream. He desperately wanted to shout, to explain how unfair the pain was, to drop the bar and vent his frustration. But here lies the trap. Most people are like steam, loud, fleeting, and easily blown away by the wind, because they cannot hold their own heat. Victor realized that his habit of venting was just his way of dropping the iron. He was letting his internal fire spill out because he couldn't handle the temporary burn of silence. However, there is a secret way to transform this burn into an internal anchor that pulls your focus away from frantic thoughts and into your core. If you don't learn how to anchor this weight, The world will eventually use it to break you. And the exact moment that breaking point happens is what we will explore next. Victor's mind was a frantic mess, his body screaming under the searing weight of the iron. But then something snapped, not like a breaking twig, but like a wave receding from the shore. He stopped fighting the heat and simply let it exist. This is the great shift. The moment you realize that pain only has a voice if you give it a microphone. By refusing to speak or even think a complaint, Victor became as solid as the bar in his hands. Soren took the glowing iron and brought the hammer down with a bone-shaking thud. Every strike was a lesson. Every time you speak a weakness, you hammer a dent into your own armor. If you keep your flaws in the dark, they cannot be used as leverage against you. This is the seal of the Forge, a mental ritual where you mentally plunge your reactive impulses into a barrel of dark, cool water. You listen for the hiss as your insecurity vanishes, leaving behind only tempered authority. Victor walked out no longer a walking wound, but a master of his own fire. But there is a final, hidden step to this transformation. You see, mastering your silence is only half the battle. If you don't learn how to identify the specific stone that were never yours to carry in the first place, you will eventually burn out again. And I'm about to show you exactly where those stones are hiding and how to drop them forever. Victor walked out of that forge with hands that were scarred, but a heart that was healed. He no longer felt the need to tell everyone about his grueling experience. The very air around him had grown denser, and he was no longer a wound walking around looking for a bandage. He was finally the master of his own fire. But as he approached the city gates, he realized the most difficult battle was just beginning. The battle to stop picking up the heavy weights that others try to force into our hands every day. How many times have you handed over the keys to your inner fortress just to feel understood for a fleeting moment? How many times have you confessed a weakness to people who haven't earned the right to see your soul? The truth is, many of the stories you hear here aren't just stories. They reflect the invisible weight you may be carrying every day. A weight that, like Victor's iron bar, is burning your hands because it was never meant for you to hold. If you're tired of holding pain, responsibility, and guilt that were never yours, I created a specialized guide to finish the work we started today. It is an ebook called The Weight of Stones That Are Not Yours. It's for those who want to let go, set boundaries, and live with the same lightness Victor felt he finally mastered the forge. To ensure your armor is truly impenetrable, when you secure your copy today, you will also receive 2 essential bonuses. Bonus 1. Learning to let go, to help you release the stones you've already collected. Bonus 2. When saying no is an act of self-love, to ensure you never pick up someone else's burden again. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment. Don't let your honesty be the weapon that dismantles you any longer. Click the link, perform your own seal of the Forge, and let the fire of silence transform you into a sword.